Do you intend to join us? Very well. Board the ox cart and we'll be off.
Ox carts make for relatively safer travel. Fewer monsters. To be found in the main road, though carts travel only by the sun's light. I'd wager there's ought to be found here. We ought to take a closer look.
Goblins! What rotten luck! We've need of your aid again, sir. You have no right.
One wrong move.
We've got goblins!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness. I knew you would prevail, Master. Let us not get ahead of ourselves. The battle continues.
That was certainly worthwhile. No. Impeccable!
Seems we drove them off. You've my thanks for aiding us. Vernworth isn't far from here. Will you join us the rest of the way? All right. Into...
I've just recalled. I found a treasure chest near here during my travels beyond the rift. May I show you to its location? My curative magics are at your disposal. Wait a moment.
No one can defend themselves when grappled like this. This ends here! I'm saved. Thank you, Arisen.
Take care where you place your feet. A sharp incline is as like to throw us off balance as 'tis our enemies. prison. I will be with you in but a moment.
I was informed of your coming would be arisen.
Captain Brandt, this individual summoned a pawn through a rift stone. Several witnesses can attest to it. Though I admit I had my doubts at first, it would seem this is no mere deceiver.
This one's not a bad sort. Saved our hides on the way here.
As decreed by the great will of our world, there can only be one arisen. That arisen now resides within the palace. Indeed, he is our sovereign and the rightful ruler of Vermont. It follows, therefore, that this ruffian before us is naught but a pretender. You must submit to questioning. If you value your life, you will not attempt to flee. I shall conduct the interrogation myself. Stand watch outside. I beg your forgiveness for my insolence, Your Majesty. If the Queen Regent had learned of your existence, I fear your life would have been in peril. I had no choice but to treat you as a pretender, lest my actions draw suspicion from watchful eyes. Then you have truly lost your memory? In that case, mayhap I ought to explain the situation before we proceed. You, and no other, are the sovereign. The only legitimate ruler of this kingdom. Some days past, you confronted the dragon in the village of Melv, whereupon you became arisen. The people rejoiced, for our true liege had finally appeared, ending Vermont's long years of council rule. Yet, not all celebrated your coming. Your arrival would have robbed the Queen Regent Disa of everything. During the time of the previous council, she acted as a queen in her own right, ruling the palace as she saw fit. And just after the council's passing, when 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found. To Disa, Your Majesty's very existence is naught but an obstacle to her own family's continued prosperity. The assassination of the Arisen is an impossible feat for mortal hands. Thus, Disa chose to abduct Your Majesty while you recovered from your wounds, in order to rob you of your memory with a fell curse and sell you to Batal as a slave. Following that, she prepared a replacement to serve as the sovereign in your stead. However, with Your Majesty returned, I shall devise some plans to further our cause. Pray, visit me a night in the tavern that we might discuss them. This one's cleared of all suspicion, and has my permission to remain in the capital. You are to trouble the good sir no further. Are we clear?
Wait for the new equipment to come in.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consarn it! Get back here! You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went? Many thanks. I'll catch that wretch yet.
You're a kind one, aren't you? 'Twould seem I am in your debt. In fact, there's aught I would ask of you if you've the time to spare.
Aha! There you are!
Oh, apologies, but our chat will have to wait. Till next we meet. Farewell.
We have obtained that which Miss Flora requested. Shall we go and deliver it to her? Allow me to guide you, Master. I know the person you're looking for.
We're in your hands, sir. Much obliged.
Now I have to go to market on top of aught else. All the best tales come from travelers at the inn.
Can't put a price on it.
Yon path leads not to our destination. If you would prefer to explore, I shall guide you another time.
'Tis not for us to gainsay the Arisen's judgment. We must go where we are bid.
This really is fine craftsmanship.
I've all manner of arms for sale. Come, have yourself a look. I've all manner of arms for sale. Come, have yourself a... Look.
Might as well take a look while you're here, eh?
All the best tales come from travelers at the inn.
Well met, son. How might I be of service?
Wait to see what the day holds.
Find myself some work.
I'd fain put down my steel for a mug of warm ale.
Tell is, Vermin was once a beastren kingdom. Truly? Indeed. Though 'tis not widely known among the common folk.
I've little enough gold to spend as 'tis.
I'm in no hurry to leave.
Bunch of dullards, a lot of them.
Got to sweep and dust before it
The rules at your left.
hurry to know anything.
Lonely place. Not without its charms.
Where to next?
Sometimes I wonder if I'd be better off a hermit.
Bunch of dullards, a lot of them.
Peruse at your leisure. Now here's a welcome sight. Time to be heading home. Interested?
Ah, now here's a surprise. A splendid discovery. Interesting. I shall have to inform my own master of this. Master, you appear to be carrying rather a lot. Perhaps you ought to set a few things down?
Go on, have a look. Lots to do. Peruse at your leisure.
Well met. You are come to Shakir's Inn, a place of respite. You will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated to the foremost hospitality in all Vernworth. You know where to find me. Buys naught but well met. You will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated to the foremost hospital. You know where to find.
Peruse at your leisure.
I'm not risking my life for a...
Oh dear. What am I to do?
Tad rowdy.
Always another
I
errand to
shan't
see to.
complain.
Where was I headed?
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. A just 'tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here. As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your majesty as a false arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the sovereign, that is, the false arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. It would be a fine opportunity to display your majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true arisen then. There is a problem, however. Entry to only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermont's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you. The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your I thank you, your majesty. There are 3 locales that have seen significant trouble of late. The first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Burnworth. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermont.
We have been charged with the felling of monsters. By combining our strengths, we shall overcome this trial as all others.
Hail, friend. Have you a spare moment? I've an eye for people, and my instincts tell me you're of trustworthy ilk. I'm in a bit of a quandary, you see. I'm to be gone for a week, with no one slated to mind the house in my stead. Fear not. I only ask your name to list as a tenant. You needn't bother yourself with... I'd be much obliged if you'd simply consider my home a waypoint on your travels. Sound appealing? Then come on by and have a look-see. I've taken the liberty of marking the location on your map.
Pray, follow me. I know the way, so there's no chance of our getting lost.